be able to detect any changes in the volcanoes in Dominica so that we could alert the authorities, the people there in Dominica about what's happening so that they could take action. At present, what you had is the kind of activity we'd expect from the volcano from time to time. It tells us simply that the volcano is still pretty much alive, that it's not dead, and therefore it's something that we have to keep a close eye on. So that's in summary all I have to say. If you have any questions about how we monitor the volcano, how the volcanoes operate, or anything else, I'll try to answer. Okay?
And the question was asked, when should we expect some volcanic eruption in Dominica? He responded that way.
Well, I would say I would approach it like this, and I would say that for any people, anybody that lives on an island that have volcanoes, and Dominica, fortunately or unfortunately, you have a beautiful island, but the beauty of the island is caused by the fact that you have so much volcanoes. So anywhere you live in Dominica, you have to, I would say, be very much aware of where you live relative to the volcano. And you must have a plan in place that if something happens, you will be prepared to move. Because essentially, these volcanoes that we have in the islands are volcanoes that if they head into an eruption, the clearest way to save people is for them to simply move off from the volcano. So I would say you shouldn't be worried. What you should have is make plans for, well, educate yourself so that you know, right? Educate yourself so that you know where the volcano is. And in your case, in Galion itself, you're basically in the center of things in a sense. So you're right in the middle of harm's way if something happens. Once you know that, you must then have a plan for if ODM or if the authorities or if something happens, where you're going to go to be out of harm's way. In terms of how the volcanic system might develop, I would expect before it gets to a stage where you have to be moving, you're probably going to have a lot more earthquakes. You're probably going to have a lot more signs that the volcano is heading towards unrest. Because your volcanoes haven't erupted for a long time, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get towards the stage of erupting. So I will say that you don't need to be worried if you have plans in place, because by the time you get to the stage where you have to move, if you have a plan, then you could move seamlessly into the plan. I would say you have to be worried if you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're going to do, right? But in terms of activity building up, I would expect you to move from a stage where you're having one or two of these kind of seismic swarms to a situation where you're having them a lot more, and you're probably having earthquakes and you're feeling a lot more. You're going to have changes probably in your funerals, and you're going to see things happening. And then you will have to be listening out carefully about whether or not when it's time to move and that kind of thing. But I would say that you shouldn't look for a point at which you should be more worried. You should now put plans in place, but just in case something happens tomorrow, the next day, or many years in the future, that you have a plan in place where you're going to go and what you're going to do if ODM say that you have to move or you should move. I don't know if that answers your question. Hopefully it does. Yeah. No, no. Okay, just to be clear, what would happen in any volcanic system? I think what you're looking for is an answer that would be impossible to have, because volcanic systems, especially ones like in Dominica, which haven't erupted, I think the last eruption you had from your volcanoes was probably about 400, 500 years ago. In fact, it was in that southern area that you had a volcanic eruption. Now, because they haven't erupted for a long time, it's going to be very uncertain exactly when an eruption is going to start. So I would expect that you're going to have you're going to have a long period of what we call unrest. You're going to have a period where the volcano is indicating that it wants to do something, but you're going to have a great difficulty knowing exactly when it's going to do that thing. So if you're looking for a definitive time, like in hurricanes, we know the hurricane is happening, and the weather forecast are going to tell you in the next 2 or 3 days is going to reach Dominica. You are never going to probably in your system have a point where you're going to have that long beforehand. So that's what I'm saying. You have to build up plans now for your family, for your community. You have to be aware of where vulnerable people are. How do you get out? Do you have a way of getting out? Where you're going to go? If you have those plans in place, by the time you get to the stage where it's getting unrest and you're going to get increased activity, you would have been in a stage where you could then move. Because it's going to be very uncertain. One of the difficulties you're going to have in Dominica is the fact that you have so many volcanic systems and they haven't done anything for a long time. You're going to have a great challenge in knowing exactly when it's going to happen, and it might not be possible to know, frankly, at present, at this time. Things are changing all the time, and as it develops, we're going to revise things. But to tell you now, they should be worried if, which is what you're asking for. You're asking for if they should be worried if tomorrow, they have 10 earthquakes versus 12. And should they be worried if they start having 20 earthquakes? Or should they be worried when they start seeing? I won't be able to tell you that until the situation develops. So what they should do now is make sure you have plans and things that you know exactly what you need to do before you get to that stage, right? Because you have the time now. You have the time now because you're not doing anything right now. Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. And I think where you live, if you look at where Galion is, okay, if you think of other volcanic systems, people think of a volcano classic where you have a cone, you have a cone-shaped mountain and you have a crater, and at the top of the crater, that's when the eruption is going to happen, right? If you think of where you live in Galion there, you're essentially almost in the crater. That's where you live, essentially. So therefore, you can live there safely once nothing is happening, but you have to have a plan in place if and when something happens, where you're going to go and what you're going to do. And that's a key thing you have to do now. Good afternoon.
Some of the information shared to the Galio community with the tremors they experienced in recent times. Another such education exercise will take place on Wednesday in the Soufriere community for Soufriere and Scottsdale. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Morning, Mr. Pelter.
Morning to you, morning.
How do you do?
I'm trying.
Mr. Pelter, while you're speaking, I'm listening because I grew up partially in Scottsdale and Soufriere. I go to school every single day. My mother birthday don't know it. There I knew in Scottsdale there was something they call PIOG. I do not know if you ever hear about it.
I've heard that, yes.
Boat, like a big kind of boat, like when Bonito time comes, they used to have.
My father was a fisherman, so I know something about PIOG, yeah? All right.
Huh?
My father was a fisherman, so I grew up in fishing. I know something about PIOG, yeah.
Okay. Many people doesn't know what is that about. And my grandmother's husband was a fisherman, but he used to sky and Balawo on the close shore. But there was something they called Bonito. They call Bonic. Now they call it children there. And then they used to have some big boats. So 3-4 men in it, and they have it in the one they say that you fish. So when you see the fish, you start to go fast and they let go in it, and they go in and they let go in it till they surround the fish. Soufriere is a place that's knowing that is right in the face of those things there. I don't say you can't take out the places. They should have some boats like PIOG. I haven't seen these things for years. PIOG there. So if in case something happens, that they could have catch some of the people there and try to escape the place with it. But what I noticed with Soufriere is that people more want to have zero and dancing and party and fair and all the big music that booming, all these things sometimes not even good for the environment of the earthquakes side there, so of Gallion and things. But these are the things they should sit down to plan. Have some make people make. My son is a shipwriter. He makes boats and these things. And he has a giant big boat, but it's in Portsmouth. But people should have those kind of big boats here. If in case something happens, people will be able to escape on it and go somewhere. But only one thing there is good time, and and everything there. But I'm saying that to people in Scotland hear me. Those who have boats and this here, learn to make some POs and put there. So if something happens, that they'll be able to escape. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, how much preparation in terms of simulation exercise is being planned? Well, the disaster preparedness office did say very soon. I know that happened maybe a few years ago, that there was some simulation exercises taking place in Soufriere, Scott said. And as indicated there by the scientist, Mr. Robinson, you have to plan. People of Soufriere, Scott said, may have to move us according to their map as far as Layou in the north. So some preparation would have to take place, but we have to start planning right now as we speak. On the telephone, 449-3095-96 and 97. Let's, of course, I don't know if somebody's asking whether these people are taking this thing seriously, because yes, we're having tremors. The scientists are saying we have to be prepared. Are we prepared? That's the big question. Talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Hey, Matt, good morning.
Morning to you, yes.
And my preparation going, like my call, want to go right in the line of that kind of preparation.
Yes.
So you say a few years ago, but back in the 80s, you had what you call Operation Lava Flow.
Mm-hmm.
And Operation Lava Flow was almost like a simulation exercise.
Yes.
For if something like that happens, I mean, there was boats involved, helicopter involved. You remember that?
Mm-hmm, of course.
You may be
yes.
much younger. Yeah, but I remember being up there and kind of being a part and experiencing what was happening during that time. And since after that, nothing like that has ever taken place again. And when you're asking people to prepare, I mean, on an individual level, yes, you can prepare. But systematically, the system we have there, is it prepared to deliver anything like that? Are they having any simulation exercises? When people start to feel earth moving and stuff, people panic, you know. People end up panicking when you have things. I mean, just hearing about that, you have people that panicking, not just for the eventuality if it actually happens. And then you have no systems in place to move people or a mass portion of people to move them at the same time at a particular point. Now, only for simulation exercise organized that you're going to have that been executed properly. Even there you might have mistakes, but you will have it better executed.
And you're making a very important point. It's just in case, let's say something like that happens tomorrow and you have to run. We have nothing in place.
Exactly. People are going to be all over the place. In other words, maybe even running into harm's way, panicking, all kinds of stuff going on. Because a lot of people, that's what they do. They panic. People panic during hurricanes. You can imagine earth movements, lava flow, pyroclastic flow, how people going to be. My brother, this thing is real. I mean, we're talking about a country with 9 active volcanoes. And the last time I remember Operation Lava Flow was in the 80s, and that was maybe during Mammoth time. And never again. So when you're hearing about ODM and all, these people are just in white-half positions there, you know, as far as I'm concerned. It's just political people in white-half positions. They don't know their role, their function, nor their responsibilities. And in serious issues like that, look at hurricanes. We're not even planning for hurricane season. You have drains that are not uncleaned. You have sidewalk, grass growing in drain. Is volcano we prepared for? My brother, we need to hit this thing running, and what the fish that rotten from the head there harvesting the system that we in there, and that's what it is. But people don't want. The lady called earlier, Pamo, and she mentioned she grew up in that area and the systems that was in place back in the day, and even the signs that people would see for them to make their moves and what was in place. But now in modern times, we have nothing in place. Nothing. All you have is this powers coming and give CO, and buying the people and the people and them and the people themselves are willing participants of that devilish demonic system, not looking about what really matters. If you're living on a volcano, look at it mentioned about Galileo. Galion is right in Hamsway, like he said. So what is in place in Galion to move a portion of people at the same time in an organized fashion? Not just moving people in an organized fashion. Anyway, enough said. I'm all ears.
Thank you very much. And again, simulation exercises we need right now. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Not you don't want you to panic in that stage there, but you have to be prepared going forward. As I heard from the scientist last evening, Mr. Robertson, if in the eventuality persons in the south may have to move as far as, according to their plans in the map there, as far as Layu going down this way. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt, good morning to you, Matt.
Morning to you, yes.
Matt, as once you hear my voice, you know I'm Scott said.
Yes.
And Matt, if I concern about the entire country, our country, that means this is going to be more in my heart and my head and every part of my body when it comes to Soufriere, Scott said, Galion, Point Michel, Matt. Matt, but I have a great concern about Galion, I have concern about all of us, but Matt, Galion is area. They can have to run down the road in the truck to get close to the city to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Matt, you see where this thing is happening, and you see when it's happening, Matt. Now is it time for Soufriere, Scott said, Galion, Point Michel, to understand whether we have people that really love us. So I am going to get in touch with Jeff and two other guys for us to see whether we can come with a plan to demand from our power rep, to demand from the Prime Minister, to demand from the government what is in need for Soufriere, Scott said, Galion, and Point Michel at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hope we're speaking with somebody from disaster, to speak about, when will the simulation exercises begin? I was up there in Galion, and the persons are very much concerned. I mean, you'd understand they live right in the center of this thing. They should be concerned in the eventuality. Yeah. Hello, talk to me. Yes. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yes. Good morning, Martin. How are you today?
Morning to you. Yes. Good morning to you.
As your caller and yourself have said, the simulation exercise is very, very important. It prevents panic. It helps you to do things in an orderly manner in case of a disaster. Because most of the times during a disaster, people lives are lost, people are injured because they do not know what to do.
Panic, yes.
People panic because of panic, right? That's the word, Mark. Because of panic. And the lady speaks about the PIOG. I want to assure her that there's no need to build PIOG now. In times back, we were transporting people by trucks with wooden boxes. With boxes made out of wood. But they have enough boats all over the place. So what you need is fast boats to be able to take the people away from the area. Mm-hmm. But how are you going to get them out of the area? Because maybe you have to travel by sea. So presently, urgently, we need a jetty in Soufriere. And we need to have proper roads where the people can move from Galion to the bay. Because as the last caller said, there's a track. The track wouldn't be sufficient. More than one road. I remember walking from Scott Z to Galion. So that can be done. Build proper roads so that you'll be able to evacuate a great amount of people in quick time. So that is it. So the government must at this time urgently think of building a jetty, a proper jetty in Soufriere that can accommodate a great number of boats, and then to have a road from Galion to the bay, so that in case of a disaster like that, the people will be able to escape quickly. Good morning, Matt, and have a pleasant day.
All right, thank you again. As I heard from the scientists, plan. What kind of plans we have in place just in case of a disaster? Let's take a voice note at this time, yes?
Good morning. There's a question that has always been bugging my mind.
Uh-huh.
Do you believe that our CBI program...
you're way off the tangent this morning, huh? 449-3095-96 and 97. Maybe you can address the situation when we have an open line. Okay, thank you very much. Planning. Hello, talk to me. Hello, yes.
Yes, Matt, good morning, and how are you this morning?
Morning to you, morning, yes.
Matt, I am with you, planning is vital, Matt, is vital. Priority number one. And not only that, Matt, you are talking about Galio Supre. We in Grande, if anything, if there is a volcanic thing, we have to come out from Grande to the whole south.
Yes, in the whole south, yes. Of course.
Right? So, Matt, when you're thinking of a plan, you don't only think about Supre called the Galio, you have to think of the whole south. And the other thing, this road, they leave Stupidity 7 that they have not organized. They must have that road in the event they have to run, that we can use that road to much. Right?
True.
So they have a lot of planning to do, assimilation exercise, yes, but put things in place that you can move people and move them quickly, Matt. And the people must be aware as to what is happening before it just come and they start panicking, Matt. So planning is vital, Matt. Good morning, Matt.
Thank you. Let's see if we can get this voice note. Yes,
Let me tell you, you see all that talk that's going on this morning. Do not be surprised by next week you hear an announcement or on news that they're going to do some exercise or this is going to be put in place. So, what is the conclusion? If you don't have such programs, nothing will ever happen. So you see, the state is so reactive. So and the Prime Minister said, people complain too much, but complaint is a good thing. You must look at the good side of complaining. It helps you realize where you're lacking and where you need to improve and where you need to pull up your socks. So if you never have those programs on the radio and people never complain or give ideas and suggestions, Minister of Health was there enjoying the salary, Minister of Environment was there enjoying the salary, this one does it and nothing's happening. And when an incident occurs, we have all kind of this in place, you're going to put that in place. It is too late. You all are just being reactive. Don't be surprised, I tell you, if next week you hear about some program or some training or something, stay there, you will see.
All right, I think another point.
There's a question that has always been bugging my mind. Do you believe that our CBI program has made sufficient monies that we could have afforded a medical helicopter and train some of our fire and ambulance and police personnel to be pilots and mechanics? That has just been bugging my mind. Have we made enough money, or could we have looked into that direction in the past?
Planning. That's important. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes.
Yeah, the brother is recording the Soul by Thunder about the helicopter. I was going to ask him if our CBI could not have provided a helicopter for us. But even more than that now, even with all these things in place, you have the neighboring islands with helicopters. Are they part of maybe something to help us out in the eventuality that something like that happens? I mean, bro, even Martinique has a volcano in the north of the island there. And there are systems in place for stuff like that. Even during the time there was an eruption, quite a few people had to move to Dominica from Martinique, if you remember that. You do or not?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, James. Anyway, things like that. I mean, we have to have systems in place. And really, what you really have, you have a system running the country. And that's why you don't have systems in place to really facilitate all of these things and to take care of people in the way that people should be taken care of. The system that we have in place there, it doesn't care about people. And the people need to understand that, You cannot be living on an island with 9 active volcanoes. The island doesn't have simulation exercises. It doesn't have a helicopter. It doesn't have systems in place to deal with these kinds of emergencies. And it is real. I mean, there are guys I speak to on two-way radio, and when you tell them of Dominica, and I mentioned that we have 9 active volcanoes, the next thing would be, and you live on an island with 9 active volcanoes? Yes, we do. Because what? In Hawaii and all this, people live around volcanoes. Just that when there are, in those places they are so organized, they have warning, they have alert warning, different systems in place. You have a horn that will come on that will let you know, well, okay, you have seismic activity. You have another horn in a different tone that will come on to signify that there is an eruption pending and people will make their move. what do you have in place in Dominica? I mean, in other islands, even a simple thing like let me look at that. That's not even a situation of an emergency. Fog coming from the ocean. When fog coming from the ocean and coming onto land, you have places where a fog horn come on to make you know that there will be a density of fog in your area for poor visibility of traffic driving and maybe people on boats and stuff. A fog horn for fog, a simple thing. And here we have 9 active volcanoes. We have nothing in place, nothing, because we're running a system, a demonic system we're running here. Have a day.
Have a good day too. 449-3095-96 and 97. Yes, I did attend a meeting in Galion, and I could tell, given the persons on the ground, interacted with a few, that they need some exercises on the ground to, of course, get them out in the eventuality that there's a volcano or some eruption in that area. They're sitting right there. Hello, talk to me. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, yes, hello.
Hello?
I'm here. Go ahead, yes.
Yeah, in the time of UWP, they had a jetty at Point Michel, and they had a preparation. All of us was practicing when this thing happened, and since after that, nothing happened again. So we don't know,
Well, that's what I'm saying, that we need some simulation exercise. I remember, I think Mr. Cecil Schlinford, if memory serves me right, was part of that team when he was in disaster preparedness there. Hello, talk to him on the telephone. I might give him a call to remind us. Are you there, caller? Yes?
Good morning, Matt.
Morning
Good morning
to
to
you, yes.
all the listeners.
Morning,
Matt,
yes.
notwithstanding all the suggestions that have been made, Matt, the saddest part that I see is this. Facebook is bombarding you with every quasi-project, large and small, that the government is involved in. Facebook is cheap. It doesn't cost you much to put those things on Facebook. There could be a very elaborate information about volcanic eruption and how to mitigate it and how to escape it and whatever. And it can all be done. Each village could have their own page, but the government is doing nothing. And as I said, Matt, cheap Facebook, everybody's on Facebook, all the MIPWE, all the projects of you, everything is bombarding at you. It's been bombarded at you, but not one thing. If they could only use this cheap medium to educate the people, each village could have its own page, Matt. Think about that. So that shows you that it's not about money. The government is not doing anything because they could easily do it on social media. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I did ask a question to the scientists last evening. Yes, we're having some, tremors, but when should the people in that area become very worried? And I'll just play his response to me last evening at this education forum there on the streets of Galion last evening.
Well, I would say I would approach it like this, and I would say that for anybody that lives on an island that have volcanoes, and Dominica, fortunately or unfortunately, you have a beautiful island, but the beauty of the island is caused by the fact that you have so much volcanoes. So anywhere you live in Dominica, you have to, I would say, be very much aware of where you live relative to the volcano, and you must have a plan in place that if something happens, you would be prepared to move. Because essentially, these volcanoes that we have in the islands are volcanoes that if they head into an eruption, the clearest way to save people is for them to simply move off from the volcano. So I would say you shouldn't be worried. What you should have is make plans for, well, educate yourself so that you know, right? Educate yourself so that you know where the volcano is. And in your case, in Galion itself, you're basically in the center of things, in a sense. So you're right in the middle of harm's way if something happens. Once you know that, you must then have a plan for if ODM or if the authorities or if something happens, where you're going to go to be out of harm's way. In terms of how the volcanic system might develop, I would expect before it gets to a stage where you have to be moving, you're probably going to have a lot more quakes. You're probably going to have a lot more signs that the volcano is heading towards unrest. Because your volcanoes haven't erupted for a long time, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get towards the stage of erupting. So I would say that you don't need to be worried if you have plans in place, because by the time you get to the stage where you have to move, if you have a plan, then you could move seamlessly to the plan. I would say you have to be worried if you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're going to do, right? But in terms of activity building up, I would expect you to move from a stage where you're having one or two of these kind of seismic swarms to a situation where you're having them a lot more, and you're probably having earthquakes and you're feeling a lot more. You're going to have changes probably in your funerals, and you're going to see things happening. And then you will have to be listening out carefully about whether or not when it's time to move and that kind of thing. But I would say that you shouldn't look for a point at which you should be more worried. You should now put plans in place, but just in case something happens tomorrow, the next day, or many years in the future, that you have a plan in place where you're going to go and what you're going to do if ODM say that you have to move or you should move. I don't know if that answers your question. Hopefully it does. Yeah. No, okay, just to be clear, what would happen in any volcanic system? I think what you're looking for is an answer that would be impossible to have, because volcanic systems, especially ones like in Dominica, which haven't erupted, I think the last eruption you had from your volcanoes was probably about 400, 500 years ago. In fact, it was in that southern area that you had a volcanic eruption. Now, because they haven't erupted for a long time, it's going to be very uncertain exactly when an eruption is going to start. So I would expect that you're going to have a long period of what we call unrest. You're going to have a period where the volcano is indicating that it wants to do something, but you're going to have a great difficulty knowing exactly when it's going to do that thing. So if you're looking for a definitive time, like in hurricanes, we know the hurricane is happening, and the weather forecast are going to tell you in the next 2 or 3 days is going to reach Dominica. You are never going to probably in your system have a point where you're going to have that long beforehand. So that's what I'm saying. You have to build up plans now for your family, for your community. You have to be aware of where vulnerable people are. How do you get out? Do you have a way of getting out? Where you're going to go? If you have those plans in place, by the time you get to the stage where it's getting unrest and you're going to get increased activity, you would have been on a stage where you could then move. Because it's going to be very uncertain. One of the difficulties you're going to have in Dominica is the fact that you have so many volcanic systems and they haven't done anything for a long time. You're going to have a great challenge in knowing exactly when it's going to happen, and it might not be possible to know, frankly, at present, at this time. Things are changing all the time, and as it develops, we're going to revise things. But to tell you now, as they should be worried if, which is what you're asking for. You're asking for if they should be worried if tomorrow, they have 10 earthquakes versus 12. And should they be worried if they start having 20 earthquakes? Or should they be worried when they start seeing? I won't be able to tell you that until the situation develops. So what they should do now is make sure you have plans and things that you know exactly what you're going to do before you get to that stage, right? Because you have the time now. You have the time now because you're not doing anything right now. Exactly. That's the point. And I think where you live, if you look at where Galion is, if you think of other volcanic systems, people think of a volcano classic where you have a cone, you have a cone-shaped mountain and you have a crater, and at the top of the crater, that's when the eruption is going to happen, right? If you think of where you live in Galion there, you're essentially almost in the crater. That's where you live, essentially. So therefore, you can live there safely once nothing is happening, but you have to have a plan in place if and when something happens, where you're going to go and what you're going to do. And that's a key thing you have to do now. Good afternoon.
Some people are easy, They listen to the scientists and they say no to a text message. Rather listen. Well, they're not active, but they're very alive. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Oh my God, ignorance is something else. Hello, talk to me. Yes, good morning. How you doing? How are you? How are you?
Very well indeed. I am delighted that you're talking about volcanoes, because I was thinking of going to the Soufriere meeting. It is on Wednesday.
Wednesday, I was at Galion last night. Yes.
But yes, what I have heard so far from the so-called experts is a complete waste of time. Tell the expert, I say, that he has wasted his time coming down to Dominica. Absolute waste of time.
Why?
Tell him that what he's told us. We have already been told that a long time ago, in 1997, when Dr. Shepherd came down here. Dr. Shepherd was an Englishman. He was a volcanologist, or a seismologist, if you prefer. They came down from Trinidad, and they came to tell us all about volcanoes. They preached the gospel of volcanoes. They had a meeting at Scott Z, which I went to. That is where I learned a lot about volcanoes. So what this gentleman has told you is there. We have been told that before almost 30 years ago. What we need now is not lectures, my boy. I think Mervyn John Baptist spelled it out for you. But first I'll say what you need, and I heard the guy talking about a plan. My brother, you're supposed to be a volcanologist. People do not make plans in that sort of environment, Matt. What you need to tell the people is that whether their government has enacted a plan to get them out of this community safely in the event of an eruption. That's all you need to know. No more talk about this and that, man. The government must formulate a plan. Let me tell you what they should do. I've said before, I'll say it again. We should build 2 concrete jetties, one Soufriere, one Scott Z. They got something at Soufriere they built, but that doesn't fit in with my plans because it's not long enough, it's not wide enough. Because Mervyn told you, I agree with him, in the event of a volcano, people will be panicking, running to this jetty with the little children trying to get on a boat to get them out of Dominica. I said to the government before, I said again, invest in 2 boats, like the Express the Zilimat. Are you with me? One for Soufriere, one for Scott Z. One will serve Soufriere, one will serve Scott Z, provide the jetties are built. The whole plan is that when we know there is going to be an eruption, and we know that there will eventually erupt, we don't know when, what is going to happen, Matt? Once we know that they are going to erupt, those 2 boats will come and anchor at the jetty. And people from Galion and Soufriere will congregate there. That boat will walk onto the jetty, into that boat, and that boat will take us either to Martinique or Guadeloupe. That is provided government have made plans with Martinique and Guadeloupe. Because I cannot see any other way, Matt, that you can escape from this place. We cannot escape by road because the road will be dancing, up and down. Planes cannot land, obviously. They got to land on the ground, up and down. So the only means of escape is by the sea. That is why we need 2 of those boats to anchor at the jetty when we know it's going to erupt. So we walk on there, could be a day or 2 before, because before the things erupt, Matt, you'll get about 3 or 4 days notice. The ground will start to move. So you know it's going to erupt. The boats are there ready for us. All we do, take ourselves and our families onto the jetty. We found little suitcases. We bought the boats, and the boats will take us to either Martinique or Guadeloupe, whichever the government has already.
But the scientists were saying last night, the seismologists were saying last night, we could go to north. We could travel to as far as La U, people from the south. Are you saying Martinique or Guadeloupe?
Not less real. How many people live in Scott Z, Soufriere, and Galion, approximately? About 2,000?
About 2,000, yes. Pont Michel. Pont Michel included, yes.
La U can accommodate all those people?
No. I'm just saying you have to move from La U going down, going north, moving north. So there's some, I'm sure there's some empty plots up there in that going west.
So are you saying to me that La U and the other places in Dominica can accommodate about 2,000 people in that sort of setting?
I'm sure there's, not structured, but there's enough land space in that area for going north.
Have they built anything there?
No, they haven't built, but I'm saying preparedness.
My point is, Mervyn spelled it out to you, and I think this guy has been warning you all for years. You don't listen to him. I don't know why. Matt, unless you have a plan, the government should formulate a plan so that when we know it is going to erupt, The people of Soufriere, Galion Scott said know what to do. At the moment, there is no plan. Okay? So all these experts who are coming down and telling us about this and that. My brother, that is immaterial. We know all that already. Dr. Shepard, when he came down there in 97, told us all about that. So we don't need a repetition of the same verbiage again. We need a plan to get us out of here, and that is what we should focus on.
That's what I'm talking about this morning. Planning. And some simulation exercises there. So somebody saying, so Dr. Shepard is a white guy. That made sense, but the black scientist is wasting the time and doesn't know what he's saying. Mr. Tavernier, do you know how many babies that have been born from 30 years ago? Would a 10-year-old know what 30 years ago was about? Shouldn't the information be refreshed? Somebody's asking the question. So a lot of people don't even know that we had the simulation exercise in 1997. They were not born yet. So we need fresh information. That's the point that, hello, this caller is trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is
yes,
the Scots Head and Soufriere, I'm going to tell you something that you do not know. The people of Scots Head and Soufriere, they don't really agree. You would I've asked people in Scots Head, how is that if they do not know? And the last set of generation that born there, sometimes they don't even have time for people for them. They don't even know they have to say hello to everybody in their own world. So if things are happening, it is not everything the government. The people of Scotland, they have much intelligent people in Soufriere, much intelligent people to help themselves to come together, keep a meeting there. But that place is a place people don't really agree with each other. When it comes to politics, just watch come to politics, you'll see what's happening. I've been there with my father all the time. I've seen what happened there. And there's a lot of confusion in Scotland and Soufriere. That even so they would have asked because all the wise men, they're dead. And they're still a wise men. They will not come together and sit down and decide something. So every time the government, they need to help themselves. Thank you very much.
You talking about the local people have the resources to help themselves? Do they? I don't know. I'm just asking. The government must give some assistance. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Matt, good morning to you.
My brother, how you doing? I hope I see you in Soufriere tomorrow.
Matt, I'm not juju, you know, Matt. Nobody cannot use me for no juju. I respect all authority, and education is always something that is always important to endorse. Whereas I will endorse some of what Mr. Roy Tavernier has said.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a government who is concerned, listen to me, I am not bashing anyone. If you have a government that is concerned about its citizens and its people, no one is perfect. We would be in a better position today when it comes to secure. Matt, I don't think no other villages in Scotland have received meetings and when it comes to disaster like Soufriere, Scotland and Galion. I don't think nowhere in Dominica have had such a meeting. Every time something of this nature happens, the government comes, they send an official, they keep a meeting, blah, 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 and everything shelves. Till another thing happen again. Matt, I feel sorry for our people because sometimes our people really need to learn and to understand. We have education. We have educated a lot when it comes to disaster with that volcanic thing. I remember in 1990 with Dr. Shepard, I think, that man gives you a good background of everything. All the government have to do is to follow up with what you meet. You come into office, you concern about people, and you follow up. There has been no follow-up, absolutely. The government going on 26 years. The government haven't built anything in Galion that can push the people of Galion. All the government does, they come, they give handout to the people of Galion, and they turn their back and they go. Not one community center is in this house. Right now, as I speak to you, Matt, if a hurricane were to strike, there is nothing in Galion as a hurricane shelter, you know, Matt. Matt, the government don't care. You see me, Matt? I respect people and I respect authority, but I am not as usual. Some organization came into Soufriere and they built a jetty in Soufriere, Matt. The jetty did not build the way they proposed it. It's a government that built that, you know, Matt. That jetty they built in Soufriere is a government that built that.
I know that.
Yes, you respect the government of the day.
I know that well. Yes, I know that well.
Matt, you respect the government of the day. Listen to me well. But it's not the government that built that, you know. The government have nothing to do with that, you know.
That's why
they play their cocoa market around it and they cut the job shorter. Furthermore, the jetty was supposed to expand further. They did not do it. They make it smaller. No, you know what was the purpose of that jetty, Matt? The purpose of that jetty had to incorporate with a disaster, you know. It's something what to happen to Soufriere, you know, Matt. Matt, the jetty, as I speak to you, is totally incomplete. I would like you to come to Soufriere, Matt. If there were to have a disaster, and let us say we would have run to the jetty, we have to stay here on the jetty and jump in at the, you know, Matt. Because why? It is totally incomplete. So that's why I'm telling you, Matt, I respect the man and his whatever he's saying. I respect people. But Matt, I just find we in Soufriere, as Scott said, we have been used by government for 26 years. There's nothing that can push us forward. Every time something happens, they get somebody, they keep a meeting, and that's it, Matt. Nothing happens again until I feel sorry, Matt, for our people. We have been used over the years, and we will continue to use. Matt, it's a shame. And Dr. Shepherd did his best. He educated the people. All the government have to do is follow up. We just there, we Matt. You see, 2 weeks ago we had chairman. Everybody talking, things happening, meeting happening. After that, wait again, Wait when that meeting called tomorrow. See what's gonna happen. Everything going to Chef quiet again, Matt. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. The scholars basically say not enough is being done. No follow-ups. Since 1997, we had a simulation exercise. Somebody saying, Matt, the physical infrastructure is not designed for any sort of evacuation. The roads are too narrow. There are no piers. The government of 27 years have done zero work. No systems or structures. Such incompetence. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
But first, after I called you,
yes.
Someone rang and said that about white Dr. Shepherd, etc., etc. Remember that?
Yes,
I am not going to let him avoid it. I don't know if you have problems with white people at some business. Okay? Let me tell you, you missed the point I was trying to make, I told him Shepherd. I didn't think I said he was a white man, I think Shepherd came here. I told him what he told us. This new guy is got here told us nothing new. I told you that whatever he said, we already knew that. I was not attacking the guy, I was attacking the information that we already have all that information. So what was Shepherd giving to us, or that brother from Trinidad, we knew that already. So what we need is not another lecture about volcanoes or any new thing about volcanoes. Is that we need a plan. That is the only new thing, my brother. It's not going to be a white man and black man. It's about the fact. What we need now is a preparation to evacuate us from Soufriere. So whether it's Shepherd giving it to us or from Trinidad, it's immaterial. We need to evacuate ourselves from there and have a plan. That is what you miss, my brother. It's nothing to do with white man and black man. Have a nice day, Matt.
Have a nice day. Thank you very much, On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Mr. Peltier, blessings to you, sir.
Blessings to you, sir.
In the interest of time. Matt, most of the time, if you would call some people, I coming right back to you, Matt, and tell them, look, call into the program and make a contribution. Matt, they dare not to. They'd rather choose, stay behind a phone and send a WhatsApp message, being mischievous. I am saying, my brother, the man did not make no comparison about white and black. The man are talking about the ineffectiveness. When it comes to just talk and talk, is action. He did not make any comparison about black and white. Because, Matt, what I'm saying, right, Avenue, blessings to you. Most of the times, I don't know, we feed on each other like cannibals. Matt, in which area we have been quite repetitious? Two main areas. Can you help me with one, Matt?
I'm not getting that point there. Go ahead. I'm not getting the point.
No, I am asking you, just for, I pick in your brains. I want your brains to be alive and active, like, In which areas in Dominica, two main areas, we are being quite repetitious, Matt?
I think there are many areas I can't pick. I can't zero in on what areas you want to talk about.
Two main areas, Matt, is CWO and to steal election, to pay absolute attention to entertainment, CWO, rum, alcohol. They had high grade to it too. So, Matt, I am saying you taught me something, and I always say that even when I'm using it without you being there. I always say Matt Pelkey taught me something. Repetition builds reputation, character I add to it, and also familiarity. Matt, even if it's once a year, Matt, or once every 2 years, there is some simulation. So the same repetitious simulation, people would be familiar. People would have already built that into the character, Matt. They would already be automatically charged, Matt. While I respect the scientist, I don't know who he is. I don't want to tag him, Dr. Shepard or
Dr. Robinson out of St. Vincent, I think.
No, I said, no, I'm going back to the Dr. Shepard and he presently. I am not trying to discredit or, disregard the importance of a scientific assessment. What I'm saying, Matt, action speaks louder than words. One caller call and talk about our CBI money, man. Matt, what have we done with our CBI money? We are in over 8 billion stashed away in some Arab country, Matt, in a foreigner hand. And that is what these young people and even the elderly does not understand. Yes, they'll come and give you $500, give you an envelope, a red envelope. By the time you open it, all you can see is radio, dough, tish, and give you liquor money, give you CWO entertainment. But when your life is in danger, when you're sick and you need to be flown out because all our great hospital we have in Dominica cannot take care of us. And look at the size of it, Matt. Imagine if the high information is still working anyway, leave that alone. So I am just calling on the people of Dominica who think it's about being quite fanatical, extreme, in supporting politics, in going out every weekend. It doesn't have to be a weekend, just drink rum and smoke high grade and eat barbecue. And what about your safety? What about your security? This government don't give a damn about you and me, Matt. They're busy stealing money and stealing elections and guaranteeing that no other party can come and show they can do better than them. And the people don't know UWP. A lot of them don't know freedom. A lot of them don't know the real Labour Party under Patrick John. Matt, can you remember those days?
I was too young for that, yes, but I remember.
So, Matt, would you agree with me Dominica have regressed about 40 or 50 years? Would you agree with me, Matt?
We all agree.
Okay, but so in conclusion, I just want to say, my brother, there is not, the education is insufficient, man, inadequate. We like a one shot, them all kind of musket rifle, when you fire long time in World War II, blow. Or World War I, you have to go take off and chuck it, put a little pellet in it and come back again, bow. In this day and age, Matt, when you hold a trigger, all you do is blah, 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 and your bullets come. You come in and talk all the little foolishness, a one-off thing, once in a blue moon, or you bring Dr. Shepard, or you bring that brother that just come. No, we have the expertise in Dominica. It may not be to the degree of these guys, but it's not just to talk. And we chalk. Matt is action. The jetty, Matt, how many years they're talking about that? How many years, more dear Matt, they're talking about those jetty? Because in case something happens. No. Man busy building mansion. Man busy making baby. Huh? Man busy stealing money and manipulating the whole outcome of everything, not just the election in Dominica. If a man talking and it's a new voice, they have to send somebody, they have to inquire, who is he, where he working, who is his family? When you're busy doing all of that, like stealing money, building mansion, making babies, inquiring to victimize people and talking against you, man, how can you run a country at the same time? Thank you.
All right, Dominica, thank you. 449-3095-96 and 97. We'll continue this information now, this education with the minor earthquakes that took place in Gali on the south earlier this month. Our next stop, we're going to talk with, I will continue that conversation at the 10 o'clock hour. We have a stop with Bloombox, and we'll continue. But just before we get there, let me share some information just surfacing there. That we've just learned that a businesswoman, nurse Kenithia Sylvia Nicholas, a 41-year-old of Viewpoint, Warner, who along with her fiancé, Kinzo Kwame Matwati Woodley, was arrested and charged by the police on 4 firearm ammunition-related offenses, has been charged $5,000 to be paid by October 30, 2026. In default, she will spend some time in jail. She pleaded guilty to 4 charges read to her, while her fiancé pleaded not guilty, and the charges against him were withdrawn. They were represented in the matter by lawyer Zena Moore Dyer. So just in case you miss it, you have businesswoman nurse, a 41-year-old of Viewpoint, Warner, was arrested and charged by the police on 4 firearm ammunition-related offenses. On July 23rd, 2026, the police received some credible information. As a result of the information applied to obtain a search warrant in the name of Kenithia Sylvia Nicholas on July 24, 2026, at around 2:10 hours, armed with a warrant and alongside with some police officers from the Firearms Task Force and Drug Squad, went to the home of the accused, and where she was met. After identifying themselves as police officers, she was shown the warrant. It was read to her, informing her that they came to search her premises for illegal firearms. However, before the search commenced, she was asked if she was a holder of a valid firearms ammunition license. She said yes. 3.380 pistol. She was again asked if she had any illegal firearms and ammunition, and she replied that there was not. There were a few 9mm rounds of ammunition in her bedroom, combination safe, which belonged to her ex-boyfriend, which she secured 3 years ago after their breakup. During the search in the safe, in her presence, 3 live rounds of .99 ammunition and 2 Remington UMC ammunition boxes contained a combined total of 89 live rounds of 9mm ammunition were recovered. When asked if she was the licensed firearm holder to keep the 9mm rounds of ammunition, she replied no. The search continued, and 1 black Glock pistol box containing 2 15 rounds and 1 round capacity Glock magazine and 30 live rounds of 9mm ammunition were found. Also found were live rounds and 1 spent shell case of .99 or 9mm were also found. As a result, she was arrested along with her fiancé. More information we'll give you sometime at a later. In a mitigation plea, Counsel Zena Dyer begged of the court to temper justice with mercy and not impose a custodial sentence on the client. She's a hardworking child, assisted her mom from age 10. She entered the nursing profession as a registered nurse, now in private practice in Dominica, and also a registered nurse in the USA. She's also a businesswoman operating in a restaurant. This young lady is a remorseful, and she's the first-time offender. She has already suffered and spent 3 nights in police cell, flipping on cardboard and concrete. She has been humiliated. Her practice in the USA is in trouble now. She has no profession. More Dyer told the court. We'll give you more information. We have to stop for... I will stop with Bloombox. We'll continue after this.
Fuel your farm with premium animal feeds at Bloombox. We're excited to announce a major expansion to our lineup. Bloombox Farm and Garden Center is now your go-to supplier for high-quality animal feeds. From poultry to livestock, we provide the specialized nutrition your animal needs to thrive. Our feed portfolio includes poultry solutions, broiler starter, grower and finisher, lay, starter, grower and developer, layer 19% and 17% formula, swine care, grow pork 280, so ration and hog mix, small pet and livestock, rabbit ration, ruminant feed, and universal feed. Whether you're raising a backyard flock or managing a full-size farm, ensure your animals are getting premium quality feed for the best results. Visit Bloombox in Roseau on the corner of Hanover Street and Drury Lane, or Bloombox Goodwill, 66 Federation Drive, Goodwill. Call us in Roseau at 235-3483 or Goodwill at 235-3480. Let's bloom together.
I see Golo in shopping for farming supplies. So I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? He tell me, Gus, out hell sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. He say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then he understand. Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Roseau. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
All right, Dominica, we'll continue to talk after this. But we're here with our good friend Carlton Lando. He's there representing Bloombox this morning. Mr. Carlton Lando, how are you doing this morning?
Matt, good morning to you and good morning to all our listeners at this time. It is a pleasure to be here with you in studios as usual. We are even happier to be representing Bloombox, your number one leading supplier of farms, garden and agricultural solutions here in Dominica. We are ideally located in 2 locations, one in the middle of Roseau. People oftentimes, they have difficulty with streets. So right in the corner of Downey Lane and Hanover Street, that's right at the back of We Church, where they would actually do the wholesaling at the back there. You will find Bloombox located right there on the opposite side of the road. And you can find us on 66 Federation Drive in Goodwill for those who are looking for flexibility, a bit more latitude in terms of parking. You will get the same great service there. And so we're located there as well. Matt, we are happy to announce that we are celebrating 5 years of operations here in Dominica. And I can tell you that within the 5 years, we've expanded a lot. And we have increased in our inventory. We have broadened some of the services that we render and to the public. And of course, with the 5 years comes experience. And so our staff can certainly and have certainly given you the best customer service that you deserve here in Dominica. One of the things that we pride ourselves in, it's more than just the service, it's an experience that you want to have with us, experience that comes with knowledge, that comes with education, and that also comes with demonstration as well. And so if you're looking for that location, that place where you can really purchase your agricultural, garden, and farming supplies, and you want education to be applied with your purchases, you want that experience where you can really understand the features and benefits of the products that you're purchasing, you can look no further. You will certainly get that at Bloombox. So, what have we done in the 5 years that we have been in operation? I can tell you, this morning I was looking at a spreadsheet in terms of philanthropic activities and donations that Bloombox have made, and it is a very lengthy um, list. There's so many schools that have benefited from the philanthropic and donations of Bloombox. The Dominica Community High School, as you know, it's a school that prides itself in agriculture. St. Luke's Primary, Dubler Primary, Castleborough Secondary School, Grand Fort Primary School, Northeast Comprehensive Secondary School, Campbell Primary, St. Martin School. There's so many schools that have benefited from the benefits of Bloombox, whether it's with auxiliary services in terms of helping them with the planting of food crops that would help to sustain the school feeding programs at some of the schools, whether it's actually helping them with a greenhouse. Many schools are now getting into cultivation and greenhouses, whether it's helping them with their irrigation system too. Bloombox have certainly come on stream and have assisted them. But we've also helped a lot of NGOs too on the island. And so whether it's an activity that they may be having and would have called us for sponsorship, we've always supported. So, like the Crayfish River Disaster Preparation Committee, the Casabras Climate Justice Project, these are just to name a few of some of these NGOs that we've supported over the years. So yes, we have been in business for 5 years, and we have been happy to supply Dominica with livestock, animal feedings, and agricultural products and the likes. But even more so, we are very happy to have been able to really help many of these agencies, committees, groups, schools, and associations in terms of their crest, in terms of certain projects that they would have had throughout the 5 years of our existence. So, as we've said, we're committed to supporting growers at every level, from home gardens to commercial farms. We've always promote sustainable and eco-friendly practices that support long-term agricultural services, successes, and environmental care. So, what are some of the items that you can get from Bloombox? Tools. So, if you're looking for tools for your farm, for your garden, you can get that. So, you're looking for pickaxe, shovels, you're looking for spades, you're looking for the tanks that you put on your back to spray the pest. You can get all of that. So if you're looking for tools at excellent prices, very durable tools, you can get that. If you're looking for fertilizers for your crops, you can get that. If you're looking for soils and potting mixes, you can get that. If you're looking for seeds, you can get that as well. Irrigation equipment, pest control solutions, landscaping products, all of these are available at Bloombox. And one of the things, I think just last week, an aunt of mine said to me that she really likes to buy her flower pots at Bloombox because they're very durable. They're way more durable than the competitors. And this is somebody that's obsessed with planting, what we call flowers or plants, to put on the house and around the yard and so forth. And so if she said that to me, I truly believe her. So if you're looking for durable flower pots, you can get it. Don't matter the size, you can get that at Bloombox. So we really believe in growing stronger communities through sustainable agriculture. And as you know, Dominica has been dubbed the Nature Isle of the Caribbean. And planting agricultural products are basically our niche. And so we always encourage people, families to at least embark on sustainable planting. Have at least a backyard garden where you can at least plant your lettuce, your carrot, your cucumbers, products that are food crops that can be readily available at your table in a very sustainable and bio-friendly method. And so Bloombox makes these seeds available if you're looking at producing these types of crops that you can actually feed your family with. We promote and we have these items. So we promote food security, agricultural education supports. So if you're looking, as I said, to get information on your products that you're purchasing, you can get that. Water conservation solution. Everyone, there are parts of Dominica that's very, very dry, and irrigation is important in helping those crops grow. If you're looking for environmental responsibility, we are the partners for that. If you're looking for empowering local farmers, we've done that tremendously. We can do that. And if you're looking for community development, particularly from an agricultural standpoint, we also do that. So our services, retail, as I said, you can get your automated irrigation system. You can get it designed and also installed by us as well. Our working hours, generally we're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays we're open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
They always say, Carlton, that you have to economize and be wise. Do you have the competitive prices?
Well, Matt, I mean, we've always prided ourselves in making sure that the products that we bring are, one, in terms of the price ratio, that they are competitive, they are affordable, and they are unmatched to the competitors. And so we always advise you can walk around if you choose to and see for yourself. But based on the information and the technical support that we always give to you, you can be rest assured that we are the preferred choice for all of your supplies. Matt, as we celebrate our 5th year, we really want to open the lines this morning. I have a trivia question that I want to pitch out there. We have a really beautiful, nice token that we can give to that winner. And so Matt is going to give you the numbers. Once you have called, I will give you that question. And once you can answer the question correctly, I will take your name and number, and we will await your presence at Bloombox to redeem your prize. All you will have to work with a viable ID of yourself, and you say your name, that I will submit your name as the winner, and you'll redeem your prize.
How many prizes are we giving this one?
We'll do 2.
We'll do 2. Okay.
We'll do 2 prizes.
So the numbers are 449-3095.
As we celebrate our 5th anniversary here on Dominica.
449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. These are the numbers. You can just call. Just call, and you may be, of course, wanting to answer a question. And we've not asked the question just yet.
No.
You're gonna keep the question a surprise.
As soon as the person, we get a caller, I will let them know what the question is.
Can you give us a feel that,
It's all about Bloombox. It's all about celebrating Bloombox. So, Matt, the question is very easy. It's very easy. Trust me.
Very easy.
Yeah, I see the lines are going already.
All right, let's see. 449-3095, 96 and 97. Hello, talk to me. on the telephone. Are you there? Yes.
Good morning to Lando. Lando, this is Lucy. When I call you, I doesn't get you. I'm just calling to say morning. I don't know nothing about Bloomberg or Bloomberg, whatever. I'm just calling to say morning to you.
My dear, good morning. Hoping that you're doing well.
Yes, I'm well.
Awesome. Take care. Have a good morning.
All right, again, 449-3095. If you know something about Bloombox, here's your chance to win the prize. Hello? Yes? Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm there.
You're there. You're willing.
Have you ever shopped at Bloombox?
Excuse me?
Have you ever shopped at Bloombox?
No.
So now it's a good time to actually visit us. Do you do any planting at all?
Hello?
Do you do any planting? Do you do any planting at home, or you have a farm or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So what we do, we try to really promote sustainable farming. But this morning, I want to give you a prize. So the question is, what is Bloombox tagline? What is Bloombox tagline? So like, for example, Nike has Just Do It. So what is Bloombox tagline?
Caller, I suspect somebody's trying to help from the background. Are you there, caller? No. Let's take another call. Are you there, caller? Yes. Hello. Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes.
I come to answer the question.
Yes, ma'am. What is Bloombox tagline?
What is Bloombox?
Tagline. So it's a tagline. Yes, it's a tagline. So, for example, Nike has Just Do It. KFC
I'm
has.
not hearing properly, no?
You're not hearing properly?
No.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, I'm asking you, what is Bloombox tagline?
I still not hearing. Let me call back.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much. 449-3095-96 and 97. Somebody else is on the telephone. Are you there? We have just about 6 more minutes. Hello, yes.
Good morning, Carter. How you doing? Bloomberg Spotlight. Let's bloom together.
And you said that so with such enthusiasm. Definitely, let's bloom together. And yes, this is our tagline. And so we are happy that you have called and you have won yourself something from Bloombox. Everybody knows Blue.
Blue.
Yes.
Can I go and pick up the price for you?
No, I want it for my daddy. I want something for my garden because I'm a gardener.
All right.
Everything. I was by the box last week.
So
looking at things to help with line grow.
So can I pick it up for you then I'll bring in my garden?
No, it's my garden.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Yes, so Blue has won herself a gift from Bloombox as we celebrate our 5th anniversary here on Ireland. And Matt, the lines are going. Should we take a little commercial break and then we will
come back?
Yeah.
All right. Take care. You're going to come back right after this.
Shopping for farming supplies. So I ask you, what are you doing inside Bloombox? Do you have a farm? You tell me, that's how tell sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. They say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Fuel your farm with premium animal feeds at Bloombox. We're excited to announce a major expansion to our lineup. Bloombox Farm and Garden Center is now your go-to supplier for high-quality animal feeds. From poultry to livestock, we provide the specialized nutrition your animal needs to thrive. Our feed portfolio includes poultry solutions, broiler starter, grower and finisher, poulet, starter, grower and developer, layer, 19% and 17% formula, swine care, grow pork, Dog, $2.80. So ration and hog mix, small pet and livestock, rabbit ration, ruminant feed, and universal feed. Whether you're raising a backyard flock or managing a full-size farm, ensure your animals are getting premium quality feed for the best results. Visit Blue Box in Roseau on the corner of Hanover Street and Drury Lane, or Blue Box Goodwill, 66 Federation Drive, Goodwill. Call us in Roseau at 235-3483 or Goodwill at 235-3480. Let's bloom together.
All right, Carlton, we're back. We just have about 3 more minutes.
And again, here we go. I see we have a few callers that are waiting. So we can take a caller and then I will ask the question.
All right, another caller. Are you there, caller? Yes?
I'm calling to answer the first question.
Well, the first question, someone has won it already.
All right.
Do you want to try the second question?
Okay.
Yes. So can you tell us the locations of our 2 branches?
Okay. At the front of Whit Church,
Yes.
Roseau. At
Yes.
the front of Whit Church, Roseau.
At the front or the back? Which
At
is
the
it?
back of Whit Church,
Okay.
Wholesale.
Mhm.
Whit Church,
Do you know the
Wholesale,
name of that
Roseau.
street?
I'm not too familiar with
Okay.
it.
Okay. If you're not, all right, that's okay. Uh-huh.
Mhm. And up Center Roma Goodwill.
Okay. Have you been to any of our locations?
Yes.
You have. Okay. Can you tell us on a Saturday? I will just pick on a Saturday. What are our working hours on a Saturday?
I think it's 8 to 2.
You're close. Do you want to try again on the in reference to the time?
8 to 3.
8 to 3. All right. So can we have your name? And you've won, just simple like that. You've won yourself a gift, compliments Bloombox, Dominica.
I shop at Bloombox almost every week. My name
Almost
is
every
Mabel
week.
Charles Montprosper.
What do you buy there?
I buy seeds. Hello?
She buys
Yes,
seeds.
we
She's a-
hear.
She's a vegetable
Okay.
farmer.
I'm a vegetable farmer. I buy seeds. I buy different things.
How do you find our prices?
It's okay
It's okay.
because there is a type of seed you couldn't get. I couldn't get it from nowhere else, and it's only you all who sells it.
Awesome. So do you want to leave your name and number first? Yes.
My name is Mabel. I have to give you my number.
Okay.
Mabel Charles.
Okay.
One
Awesome.
prosper.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay then. Cool.
All right. Take care.
All right.
And Matt, I'm so happy that it's customers of Bloombox that are winning, people who visit the stores and make purchases and can testify of the great service that they get all the time and the variety of products that are available to meet that particular need that they have. And so we're happy that you're celebrating 5 years with us and you continue to support the brand. As we say, we're blooming together. And this is all about you. Without you, there is no Bloombox. So we really value your loyalty. We value the years that you have toiled with us and your commitment and trust in the services that we render to you on a day-to-day basis. Let me say good morning to the management and staff of Bloombox, those people who work behind the scenes tirelessly to make sure that the products get to the store and they make sure that you really have the best experience that you definitely deserve. But as we wind up, as I said, for the entire month, all the way through August, we'll be celebrating with you. There will be many more giveaways every week on a Tuesday. At this time, we'll be with you. You will be hearing my voice as we promote sustainable agriculture here in Dominica. And don't forget, we do have a wide variety of products that meet every need that you have, from tools to fertilizers to soil and potting mixes, seeds, irrigation equipment, pest control solutions, landscaping products. So all of your agricultural needs, you can get it at Bloombox. Don't forget, we have 2 locations that are ideally located here in the Roseau area. The middle of Roseau on Hanover Street, right at the back of Whit Church, you'll find Bloombox there, and Federation Drive as well. You drive all the way just to the the beginning of Santa Roma, you will find Bloombox as well. And so we are open from 8 to 6, Monday to Friday, and on a Saturday from 8 to 3. Until next time, I'm your host, Carlton Lando, representing Bloombox, and we say, let us bloom together in Nature Isle, Dominica. Have a good morning, everybody, and continue to take care of yourself.
See you
Bye-bye.
around.
Yes.
Same time next week. Have a great day now.
Thank you, Matt.
With premium animal feeds at Bloombox, we're excited to announce a major expansion to our lineup. Bloombox Farm and Garden Center is now your go-to supplier for high-quality animal feeds. From poultry to livestock, we provide the specialized nutrition your animal needs to thrive. Our feed portfolio includes poultry solutions, broiler starter, grower and finisher, poulet starter, grower and developer, layer 19% and 17% formula, swine care, grow pork 280, so ration and hog mix, small pet and livestock, rabbit ration, ruminant feed, and universal feed. Whether you're raising a backyard flock or managing a full-size farm, ensure your animals are getting premium quality feed for the best results. Visit Bloombox in Roseau on the corner of Hanover Street and Drury Lane, or Bloombox Goodwill, 66 Federation Drive, Goodwill. Call us in Roseau at 235-3483 or Goodwill at 235-3480. Let's bloom together.
I see Goldwyn shopping for farming supplies. So I ask him, what are you doing inside Bloombox? Do you have a farm? He tell me, Gus, how the hell sort? I've been married 37 years. Come at the money farm. He say, no, not woman, like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Roseau. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
Fuel your farm with premium animal feeds at Bloombox. We're excited to announce a major expansion to our lineup. Bloombox Farm and Garden Center is now your go-to supplier for high-quality animal feeds. From poultry to livestock, we provide the specialized nutrition your animal needs to thrive. Our feed portfolio includes poultry solutions, broiler starter, grower and finisher, poulet starter, grower and developer, layer 19% and 17% formula, swine care, grow pork 280, so ration and hog mix, small pet and livestock, rabbit ration, ruminant feed, and universal feed. Whether you're raising a backyard flock or managing a full-size farm, ensure your animals are getting premium quality feed for the best results. Visit Bloombox in Roseau on the corner of Hanover Street and Drury Lane, or Bloombox Goodwill, 66 Federation Drive, Goodwill. Call us in Roseau at 235-3483 or Goodwill at 235-3480. Let's bloom together.
So I was explaining earlier, of course, a nurse businesswoman was arrested and charged and was fined more dire, the magistrate. Magistrate Alfred then imposed a fine of $1,250 on each of the charges, bringing the total fine to $5,000 in default, 1 year and 6 months in jail. The fine must be paid by October 30, 2026. All right, Dominica, we gone back. Of course, we heard of an incident, an accident that took place there in Les Point. We are following that story, and we'll give you more details once it becomes available. Let's continue the conversation we had earlier as it relates to the preparedness preparations for. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Matt is me again.
Yes.
I forget to tell our DJ that was on Q95. Mo introduced him as the most handsome DJ on island.
A DJ?
You know who is that?
Which one?
DJ Slim.
Oh, DJ Slim. Oh, okay, all right. Well.
On the poker run, that's how Mo introduced him, the most handsome DJ on island.
All right. Thank you. So we are following the story there in the West Point area. Took place sometime this morning. We'll give you some updates when they become available, okay?
Well, I would say I would approach it like this, and I would say that for any people, anybody that lives on an island that have volcanoes, and Dominica, fortunately or unfortunately, you have a beautiful island, but the beauty of the island is caused by the fact that you have so much volcanoes. So anywhere you live in Dominica, you have to, I would say, be very much aware of where you live relative to the volcano, and you must have a plan in place that if something happens, you would be prepared to move. Because essentially, these volcanoes that we have in the islands are volcanoes that if they head into an eruption, the clearest way to save people is for them to simply move off from the volcano. So I would say you shouldn't be worried. What you should have is make plans for, well, educate yourself so that you know, right? Educate yourself so that you know where the volcano is. And in your case, in Gallion itself, you're basically in the center of things, in a sense. So you're right in the middle of harm's way if something happens. Once you know that, you must then have a plan for if ODM or if the authorities or if something happens, where you're going to go to be out of harm's way. In terms of how the volcanic system might develop, I would expect before it gets to a stage where you have to be moving, you're probably going to have a lot more earthquakes. You're probably going to have a lot more signs that the volcano is heading towards unrest. Because your volcanoes haven't erupted for a long time, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get towards the stage of erupting. So I would say that you don't need to be worried if you have plans in place, because by the time you get to the stage where you have to move, if you have a plan, then you could move seamlessly into the plan. I would say you have to be worried if you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're going to do, right? But in terms of activity building up, I would expect you to move from a stage where you're having one or two of these kind of seismic swarms to a situation where you're having them a lot more, and you're probably having earthquakes and you're feeling a lot more. You're going to have changes probably in your funerals, and you're going to see things happening. And then you will have to be listening out carefully about whether or not when it's time to move and that kind of thing. But I would say that you shouldn't look for a point at which you should be more worried. You should now put plans in place, but just in case something happens tomorrow, the next day, or many years in the future, that you have a plan in place where you're going to go and what you're going to do if ODM say that you have to move or you should move. I don't know if that answers your question. Hopefully it does. Yeah. No. Okay. Just to be clear, what would happen in any volcanic system? I think what you're looking for it's an answer that would be impossible to have because volcanic systems, especially ones like in Dominica, which haven't erupted, I think the last eruption you had from your volcanoes was probably about 400, 500 years ago. In fact, it was in that southern area that you had a volcanic eruption. Now, because they haven't erupted for a long time, it's going to be very uncertain exactly when an eruption is going to start. So I would expect that you're going to have a long period of what we call unrest. You're going to have a period where the volcano is indicating that it wants to do something. But you're going to have a great difficulty knowing exactly when it's going to do that thing. So if you're looking for a definitive time, like, in hurricanes, we know the hurricane is happening and the weather forecast are going to tell you in the next 2 or 3 days is going to reach Dominica. You are never going to probably in your system have a point where you're going to have that long beforehand. So that's what I'm saying. You have to build up plans now for your family, for your community. You have to be aware of where vulnerable people are. How do you get out? Do you have a way of getting out? Where you're going to go? If you have those plans in place, by the time you get to the stage where it's getting unrest and you're going to get increased activity, you would have been on a stage where you could then move. Because it's going to be very uncertain. One of the difficulties you're going to have in Dominica is the fact that you have so many volcanic systems and they haven't done anything for a long time. You're going to have a great challenge in knowing exactly when it's going to happen, and it might not be possible to know, frankly, at present, at this time. Things are changing all the time, and as it develops, we're going to revise things. But to tell you now, they should be worried if, which is what you're asking for. You're asking for if they should be worried if tomorrow, they have 10 earthquakes versus 12. And should they be worried if they start having 20 earthquakes? Or should they be worried when they start seeing? I won't be able to tell you that until the situation develops. So what they should do now is make sure you have plans and things that you know exactly what you're going to do before you get to that stage, right? Because you have the time now. You have the time now because not doing anything right now. Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. And I think where you live, if you look.
All right, Dominica, thank you. I'm just talking to, a few minutes ago, I was talking to the minister responsible for disaster preparedness. He did say we'd have a conversation with me sometime later, speak about some plans that his office is planning sometime in the near future. So it's a wait and see what plans may be available or will be available, especially for the areas in the south. The minister did give me the assurance that he will talk to me sometime later about it. Just an update that somebody says everybody survived in that accident in the Last Point area. But some other concern, huh? Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Are you there? Yes.
Matt, which minister is that?
The Minister of Disaster.
I don't know.
You don't know the Minister of Disaster, Mr. Blackmore.
Okay, but weight is a heavy load, eh? Weight is a heavy load.
Well, as I said, he did indicate to me he'll talk to me sometime later today, so let's find out. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, man, good morning.
Good morning to you. Yeah.
It is interesting that this topic is coming up again. I can recall, Matt, sometime in the 90s.
Yes.
In the 90s when we were getting all the seismic activity.
1997,
right.
Yes.
Remember that the banks had stopped issuing loans for construction in those areas, the insurance, all of these people were concerned. Matt, that is a long time. That was a long time. This government came in and they have done virtually nothing to really sit down and look and assess the situation and say, if we're going to have eruption in the south of the island, we put systems in place, we put plans in place for us to deal with that situation. Remember that they will warn about putting critical infrastructure in the south of the island where you will have mass gathering. For example, the Windsor Park Stadium, they were advised against it. Look at the grammar school, because they talk about all of these areas of vulnerable areas. Grammar school then had a population maybe of about 600 or so people. Look at right now, it's almost the capacity is being increased to handle almost 1,000 students. Look, you have the good in the second. All of those infrastructures are put in place. You're talking about if you have an eruption, you're going to have to move people from Soufriere, Grand Bay, all of these areas, Bellevue, all of these areas to go right back to Layo. Where are you going to put these people? As forward-thinking government, you have CBI, you're making money, whatever. You would look at procuring lands. There's lands at Point Rock. Acquire those particular property because you have money. It's not money you don't have. You have money. Stop lying to us and telling us you do not have money. You have money. You acquire those infrastructure. I'm not saying you go and you build houses and leave those houses there, but you put the critical infrastructure. You put the sewage system. You put light there. You put the water. You cut the road. You put everything. So in a short space of time, then you can go and do construction of those particular facilities to accommodate persons who may not have anywhere for them to go. There are persons who have the capacity, they have land in other areas, they can rapidly construct a house and move their family and put them there. But what about the poor people in those areas that just don't have the means to do that? A forward-thinking government would have put all those systems in place because you had 27 years, 27 long years. You're still going on and putting critical infrastructure in the south of the island when you were advised against doing those because you're sitting on an island with 9 active volcanoes. And most of them is in the south of the island. The bulk of them is in the south of the island.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you are doing? What you have done to sit down and say, well, okay, we have put that in place. We have had infrastructure. We acquire places. We put in the basic infrastructure there. So in case, as the scientist is saying, because you haven't had a volcanic eruption for so long, you're going to have a long period of unrest. Having a long period of unrest allows you two things. You have the critical infrastructure in place, everything already, then you can move in now and rapidly construct facilities so that you can accommodate people. You put in the fix up the jetty, fix up whatever, acquire a ferry boat or whatever, so in case you have to move people, you have a system in place. Do we have a spot, another hospital, that in case you have persons that are injured, where is it we going to carry them? You're boasting of how you call it, China friendship. Everybody in China friendship have to run. Everybody, they have to move. The prison have to move. All of those places, they have to move. The police at Monbus there, they have to move. Where they're going to go. These people are not concerned about these things. If they were concerned, because you have that long period, you have had that long period for you to start to put things in place and do something about it. Not even sensitization, not even awareness, simulation exercise you had for all that long period of time. And you're telling me you're concerned about it. Who want to hear what Minister of Disaster have to say? Who want to hear that now? You know, I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. But our people have to be blamed because our people have to demand more. We sit down for it, and I agree with Mervyn, We sit down for the longest while and we accepting those nonsense. We accept them. And then now, when you start to get a little shaking up, everybody become concerned, everybody become reactionary, everybody jumping up and down and whatever and whatever. You know, but look at, we had a lot of time. We could learn from the Montserrat lesson. We could learn from the St. Vincent lesson. Look, St. Vincent had an eruption a couple of years ago. And look at how they deal with it, because they have plans and they have systems in place. But we absolutely have nothing in place. Nothing. So what Mr. Security Minister, whatever he is, have to say there, it is a little bit too late. People say better late than never, but I think it is a bit too late because we had to put those systems in place. If you come in and tell us now, well, we acquire those property, we have started working those areas there, so we put in the basic infrastructure. This is the things that we want to hear. Don't come and tell us you're planning to do this. No place shaking up. You're going to tell us about you're planning this and you're going to plan that. No, you're starting to plan. No, you're starting to plan. I mean, give me a break, man.
All right, caller, thank you. There's no emergency response on the island. As I said to you, the scientists indicated if there's a eruption in the area, although at this stage there's nothing to panic about because the volcanoes are alive but not active. But just in case, you need to have some plans in place, as this caller is indicating. 449, and there's another meeting in Soufriere tomorrow night to inform the people of Soufriere, and Scott said, as to just what is taking place there. They were very worried following the tremors there in early mid-July that took place. So a lot of people were panicking, and they asked for the expert help.
But Saddam Lagadia correct. Saddam Lagadia correct because the land, tout dimanche là, monsieur Lagaba bod la mais. On go prime ministre comme ça, Lagaba moun $400 pour moun taper des bévens, il a dit qu'il c'est pas oui. Et ben ça mène des badges qui a été fait pour plein oui. So if papiers by tout nom Lagadou là right now. C'est on bagaille vieux manière missionné qui disaster preparedness. Monsieur Black Moko est un disaster preparedness. Hein? On tombe là dit que fait les moun through of ça y fouiller là cadre light et capon light avec tout ça wote et un gouvernement tout plan ça avec tout monde mis dans nos pays mais tout même moi même pas pour prendre des bagages ça quoi dit là moi même pas pour prendre ça pièce ça quoi dit code black moi qui parle code disaster à black moi code disaster quand dit black moi laisser quoi gars ça
Hamburg on est beaucoup côté gars ça on est beaucoup côté 4493095 96 and 97. Let's take more voice note. Hello, talk to me. Yes?
Matt, good morning to you.
Morning to you, sir.
Again, Matt, I call already, but I'm sending this voice note toward my people to tell them these guys, I don't know them, they are the experts. They know what we don't know. But I want to encourage them to be vigilant. I want to encourage people from the Scottsdale, Soufriere, Gallon area, more specifically, Matt, to listen to people keenly. The person who was saying that to them, because I'm in Tortola, the person is an expert. No expert, nobody who's in charge would say things to people to have them wondering and pondering and running here and running up and down. But listen to his choice of words. I make note of this. He repeated it himself. He said, listen to that, Scott said, you have time now. You have time now, twice. So I'm not saying that nothing going to happen right away. I'm not going to say something will happen in the future. I do not know. They are the ones that know. They are the ones that should tell us. Right? But listen to people when they speak and be vigilant. Do not let nothing catch you in Scott said, Soufriere Galley, unaware. My advice to you all, anytime you see something happening that never used to happen in that area before, start moving, because I am very, very, very doubtful that we are going to get any kind of real thing to put in place from this government in case something happens. And my father used to say to us, simply saying, if a war is announced and you know your foot have problem, you haven't got good foot or your feet them bad, you start to walk your way early. Okay? I hope you get that message. Thank you, Mark.
I'm listening to this guy who often call you Matt from Gaudio, and he is so right. The people are not concerned. As I said before, it's just people reacting to something going on right now, and later on, nothing happens. People are not thinking. Your government is going to give you what you want. Or like the other prime minister told you guys, you get the government you deserve, right? People are not thinking about tomorrow because they're too busy surviving, looking for a turkey and a ham. You're looking for a turkey and a ham, but you do not have, the proper requirements that you need if in case there's a disaster in your community, something is going on, what is it you're going to do? You guys don't think about those things. You can't get medication in the hospital. You're not thinking, if I'm sick, if my family member is sick, what is going to happen? There's nothing in place in every sector. There's nothing in place to take care of you, the citizens of Dominica. But the people that you vote for, the people you allow to buy you every 5 years, they have everything in place just in case something happens. Maybe a lot of them are walking around with their American passport in their back pocket, But you guys have nothing in place. There's nothing in place for you. But you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about who gets a turkey and who gets the ham and who got $1,000 and $5,000 in an envelope. Who gets gardenage? Who gets fertilizer? This is how low. This is how disrespectful this government is to you. But you are so busy on appreciating the fertilizer that you were looking for 5 years ago. And you're getting it now and you're so appreciative, but you're not thinking the 4 years you did not have it, how you can do without it now for another 6 months and put this government out. To me, it is just so simple. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with, people say don't criticize the people because they're going through a lot. And I understand that. But aren't you sitting down and understand? Tell yourself, but why after all these years, I'm not moving forward? If anything, it's getting worse. You're not thinking? What's going on? I'm just asking a question, Mark. Good morning, everybody.
Hails from the Creole and cultural capital of South City, Quebec, the former best sensation of the famous Golden Squad, and one of the most dynamic performers in Dominica, Lobster. Lobster will invade Creole Headbit this Friday, July 31st from 10:30 a.m. on Q95, the big station. Fitzgerald Lobster Angol is a well-respected fisherman, community figure, and can ask them so as. From South City, Grabe, Dominica, present lead singer of the group The Rush, Lobster is a hard-driving, no-nonsense artist who continues to voice his concerns on local economic issues. He possesses a unique style of writing and continues to captivate his audiences with a unique cultural flair and high voltage performances. Lobster. Host Ambassador Prince Radix and will be live at Q95 for big station social media pages. Tune in and learn about the functional music classes presented by the legendary Ian Jackson. This Friday, it's all about lead vocalist, musician, fisherman, Lobster, Creole Hundreds, 10:30 a.m. But with him, Monsieur Baby 10, I'm well de Pisa Mama.
It's 10:42 in the morning.
Greetings, Dominica. I'm so disappointed, especially the professionals, not the grassroots people. A lot of them are not informed or ill-informed, but the professionals. those that went to college and universities. Me, myself, I only went to St. Luke's School, and I give thanks for all my teachers, Teacher Joseph, Miss Carol Activille, my teacher Rusi, teacher Vilna, teacher Mary. I give thanks to all of them who they put common sense in my head. But the business people in Dominica, the police department, I'm disappointed in all of them. And the people that call themselves the professional that check on the psych, they call them the psychologists or something that check the volcano if there's going to be a volcano eruption, that check those things there. I'm disappointed in them also. For a small country like Dominica, they were supposed to warn the government of Dominica it's not the wise thing to drill through an active volcano to build a geothermal plant.
Well, I will again. Your voice notes your voice notes are very noisy. I will encourage you to go in a quiet spot, and when you try to send voice notes, Mr. Filbert, please. But as it relates to your view and that conspiracy theory that you've been pushing there for some time, as it relates to the geothermal and the possibility of that geothermal may be associated with the volcanic activity. I think the scientist spoke to that last night. I'll share that with you sometime later. But please clean up the voice notes. Thank you very much. But I'll share that piece of information with you sometime later as it relates to your thoughts all the time about this geothermal may be associated with the volcanic activity. All right? So we can clarify that and move forward. Let's go back to the telephone, 449-3095-9697. Yes, Caller?
Max, good morning.
Yes.
I come on the station late.
Okay.
I heard you was talking about the volcano. I knew that it had a tremor in Galio, and that is where I live.
Yes.
I would like a little more update about that, please.
Well, I guess you missed out on the information shared by the scientists last night. You said you're from Galio. I was in Galio last night. I'm surprised you were not there yourself. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Good morning, Matt.
Morning to you, yes.
Matt, when you talk to the minister, you said you were going to talk to the minister later today.
I'm hoping to talk to him sometime later today, yes.
Yeah, please ask him.
Well, I'm going to have him on the Yard stream, so you might have a chance of asking him yourself, yeah? But,
I'll
yes.
try, but just suggest to him to use social media, which is cheap. Suggest that to them, please. Use social media. They can put all their information on there. Most Dominicans will read it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes. But somebody who just joined, I guess, a little later, wanted more information as to relates to what took place in Ghana last night. Let me share it again for the final time this morning. The message was clear. Get ready for any eventuality, okay? Be prepared. One more time. Mr. Robertson from the seismic unit.
Well, I would say I would approach it like this, and I would say that for any people, anybody that lives on an island that have volcanoes, and Dominica, fortunately or unfortunately, you have a beautiful island, but the beauty of the island is caused by the fact that you have so much volcanoes. So anywhere you live in Dominica, you have to, I would say, be very much aware of where you live relative to the volcano, and you must have a plan in place that if something happens, you will be prepared to move. Because essentially, these volcanoes that we have in the islands are volcanoes that if they head into towards eruption, the clearest way to save people is for them to simply move off from the volcano. So I would say you shouldn't be worried. What you should have is make plans for, well, educate yourself so that you know, right? Educate yourself so that you know where the volcano is. And in your case, in Gallion itself, you're basically in the center of things in a sense. So you're right in the middle of harm's way if something happens. Once you know that, you must then have a plan for if ODM or if the authorities or if something happens, where you're going to go to be out of harm's way. In terms of how the volcanic system might develop, I would expect before it gets to a stage where you have to be moving, you're probably going to have a lot more earthquakes. You're probably going to have a lot more signs that the volcano is heading towards unrest. Because your volcanoes haven't erupted for a long time, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get towards the stage of erupting. So I would say that you don't need to be worried if you have plans in place, because by the time you get to the stage where you have to move, if you have a plan, then you could move seamlessly into the plan. I would say you have to be worried if you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're going to do, right? But in terms of activity building up, I would expect you to move from a stage where you're having one or two of these kind of seismic swarms to a situation where you're having them a lot more, and you're probably having earthquakes and you're feeling a lot more. You're going to have changes probably in your funerals, and you're going to see things happening. And then you will have to be listening out carefully about whether or not when it's time to move and that kind of thing. But I would say that you shouldn't look for a point at which you should be more worried. You should now put plans in place, but just in case something happens tomorrow, the next day, or many years in the future, that you have a plan in place where you're going to go and what you're going to do if ODM say that you have to move or you should move. I don't know if that answers your question. Hopefully it does. Yeah. No. Okay. Just to be clear, what would happen in any volcanic system? I think what you're looking for is an answer that would be impossible to have, because volcanic systems, especially ones like in Dominica, which haven't erupted, I think the last eruption you had from your volcanoes was probably about 400, 500 years ago. In fact, it was in that southern area that you had a volcanic eruption. Now, because they haven't erupted for a long time, it's going to be very uncertain exactly when an eruption is going to start. So I would expect that you're going to have a long period of what we call unrest. You're going to have a period where the volcano is indicating that it wants to do something, but you're going to have a great difficulty knowing exactly when it's going to do that thing. So if you're looking for a definitive time, like in hurricanes, we know the hurricane is happening, and the weather forecast are going to tell you in the next 2 or 3 days is going to reach Dominica. You are never going to probably in your system have a point where you're going to have that long beforehand. So that's what I'm saying. You have to build up plans now for your family, for your community. You have to be aware of where vulnerable people are. How do you get out? Do you have a way of getting out? Where you're going to go? If you have those plans in place, by the time you get to the stage where it's getting unrest and you're going to get increased activity, you would have been on a stage where you could then move. Because it's going to be very uncertain. One of the difficulties you're going to have in Dominica is the fact that you have so many volcanic systems and they haven't done anything for a long time. You're going to have a great challenge in knowing exactly when it's going to happen, and it might not be possible to know, frankly, at present, at this time. Things are changing all the time, and as it develops, we're going to revise things. But to tell you now as they should be worried if, which is what you're asking for. You're asking for if they should be worried if tomorrow, they have 10 earthquakes versus 12. And should they be worried if they start having 20 earthquakes? Or should they be worried when they start seeing? I won't be able to tell you that until the situation develops. So what they should do now is make sure you have plans and things that you know exactly what you need to do before you get to that stage.
All right, preparation. That's the focus there of the scientists. Let's take one of our final voice notes for the morning before we go, yes?
Matt, good morning to you. Good morning to your listeners.
Morning.
I heard you having a conversation about the tremors in the Gallion region in the south of Dominica. And came in a little late to listen. I know your program is about to end, so we can always talk sometime later. But I just want to let folks know I have observed for a while the volcanoes in Montserrat and St. Vincent recently, and observed the participation of our Caribbean scientists in the monitoring of the recent one in St. Vincent. And I must say that the seismic unit at UWI has done an excellent job. Dr. Robertson is one of the best in the Caribbean region, if not the world. He's in a living lab, and Dominica is a case study for volcanic activity and volcanic preparation. Matt, there's a lot to say, but one of your callers called and said it excellently. I have brought up that point several times. There has to be contingency in place. Resilience is understanding the disasters that can impact you and having plans in place just in case that it happens. He talked about critical infrastructure being placed only in Roseau. Roseau is one of the most hazardous cities in the Caribbean because of the large concentrations of volcanic features and volcanic active volcanoes around the area. Roseau itself is an alluvial fan formed by volcanoes. And if you take a look at Roseau and you take a look at the features formed by the volcanoes in Montserrat on a map, you will see what I'm talking about. So we should have contingencies in place. We should have dedicated land just in case you have to evacuate people in the south, that the government already has land put aside for resettlement. There are places in Dominica. Dominica should be separated into zones of influence by earthquakes, from most dangerous or most hazardous, giving it a number, and a host of things that should have already been put in place for the current and next generation, so that when in the event something happens, that you're prepared. And every 5 to 10 years, you review your plans to make sure that they are up to date with the current conditions on site, on island. But Matt, there's a lot more to talk about. Probably we'll do that another time. But I would just like to advise people to take the advice of the seismologist who came to Dominica. And I think he's demonstrated, he and his team, their excellent ability to keep people safe from the from the volcanoes based on what recently happened in St. Vincent. Thanks.
All right, Dominica, we'll be back at the 1 o'clock hour.
Me, myself, I got nothing to prove.
I'll leave you on that note. Tracy Chapman.
You got a past, I got a plan to get us out of here. Then we're working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs. Finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. Yeah, but the bottle, that's the way it is. You say his body's too old for work. Body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. Say somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school, that's what I did. You gotta pass go. It's fast enough so we can fly away. We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. Remember when we were down, telling your car, sweet fast, like I was drunk. City lights gave the voice. Nights wrapped around my shoulder. I got a feeling that I belong. I got a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got the job. I work in the market as a chicken girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a big house and live in the suburbs. I remember when we were driving, your car, people riding like I was drunk. City light laid out before me. I felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belong. I had a feeling I'd be someone, someone, someone. You got a bicycle, I got a job that pays on our bills. Still drinking day at the bar. For your friends and you do your kids. I know it's hope for better. Maybe together you and me find it. Got no plans, I ain't going nowhere.
We are in the hurricane season. Don't forget to secure your home, board up windows, reinforce garage doors, and trim trees to prevent damage from flying debris.
Advertise where everyone's listening. Advertise on Q95 today. Get more bang for your buck. Talk shows, news, sports, music shows, entertainment events, weekend shows, Newsweek reviews, early morning shows, evening and daytime shows, hot tips on health, nutrition, security, traffic, weather, environment, and more. Place your display banners on the Q95 website, www.q95da.com, with live links to your own website. Advertise on Q95. Your one-stop shop for audio and video streaming, breaking news, sports, and entertainment. Advertise on Q95. Get value for your money. Call 767-448-5822 today. The Big Station. Easy Rock 95.1. More rock, less talk while you work. The latest soft rock, hit after hit. Tune into Easy Rock 95.1, the best mid-morning show in the right here on Q95. The Big Station.